Good evening. I'd like to welcome all of you to the City of Largo's Memorial Day gathering, virtual this year. We are obviously have to do things a little bit different this year, but as anybody that's ever been in the military can tell you, the ability to change on the fly is something that's very important and something that can sometimes save your life. So thank you for joining us, those of you that are watching on Facebook and those of you watching on one of our many TV channels. Thank you for joining us for our ceremony, our 2020 ceremony for Memorial Day. As a reminder, this is the 152nd Memorial Day, which started in 1868 as a day called Decoration Day. And it's a day specifically set aside that we remember our fallen heroes that have died in combat in the service of our country. If you've ever been deployed or been in a war zone, you know that the most important thing for a soldier, sailor, or Marine that's deployed is word from home. And I remember during the Gulf War lining up, the lines for telephones were a mile long to try and call home and hear that friendly voice. As things have evolved, our brave soldiers that are in Afghanistan now and overseas everywhere, and sailors are doing this, virtually seeing their families. So the fact that we're doing a virtual Memorial Day ceremony dovetails perfectly with how our military life exists today. Loved ones are far away and their families are home, and they wish they could be here and not doing it virtually. And we wish they could be here and that they were all home with us right now. But as it is, our military protects us around the world. And as a result of our military service over the last 200 plus years, many have died in the service of our country. So we are here today to remember those that have died serving our country around the world. So join me now as we watch the City of Largo Honor Guard present the colors.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs burst in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Okay, thank you for that, Honor Guard, and our children for the excellent Pledge of Allegiance, and Nolan for the National Anthem. That was fantastic. It's now my honor to introduce the Mayor of Largo, Woody Brown. Since being elected to the City Commission in 2007, Dr. Woody Brown has been at the forefront of Largo's efforts to improve our infrastructure and enhance our activity and employment centers. He continues to lead the way to strengthen Largo's neighborhoods, instill community pride, and improve the quality of life for our residents. Under Mayor Brown's leadership and with the cooperation of the City Commission, our city is working diligently to be the community of choice in Tampa Bay. Please welcome my friend, Woody Brown.
Hello, thank you, Lieutenant Burke, and thank you, Kara, Katie, Kate, Preston, and Brandon, and Will, and everybody that's working behind the scenes to make this happen tonight. Today, we take pause to honor those that made the ultimate sacrifice while serving in the armed forces. This year is unique as we're dealing with an invisible threat that's affected us all. Normally, we'd be gathering with friends and family for a cookout or at the beach. We'd also join together in Largo Central Park at our beautiful Court of Honor to remember our fallen heroes. And while much of that is not possible this year, we still remember today and every day those that we have lost. Everything's a bit different this year, but I hope this online presentation helps each and every one of you remember a hero that was in your life. I'm so happy to introduce today's keynote speaker, not just because of his extensive military background, but also because he's an IT specialist with the City of Largo, and should anything go wrong with this broadcast, he's there. Chad Canaan started his military career in 1998. He enlisted in the United States Army and served as an infantryman and a heavy weapons squad leader. In 2002, he joined the Florida Army National Guard, where he began his work in technology as a network switch operator. He was stationed in Fort Benning, Georgia, Baumholder, Germany, and the Jacksonville National Guard Base in Jacksonville, Florida. His deployments include Operation Joint Guardian and Operation Noble Eagle. Chad currently works as an IT analyst for the City of Largo. He and his wife, Amanda, have two sons, ages 6 and 16. So I'm pretty sure that he's been dabbling in homeschooling as well. I'm pleased to present to you tonight's keynote speaker, Chad Canaan.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everyone. I'd like to thank the Memorial Day Committee and the City of Largo leadership for allowing me to participate in this great tradition as a keynote speaker today. I'd also like to thank those of you for taking time out of your day to be here with us so that we may recognize and honor those who paid the ultimate sacrifice in service to this nation. And before I continue my speech, I'd like to take a moment to recognize our current military members, those among us who have served and those who have lost a loved one in service. I think it's safe to say that we're all humbled and commend the bravery and valor you all have shown while experiencing the most difficult times. Memorial Day is a time-honored tradition, and there was a moment in my life that I recognized why it was so important. I remember raising my right hand along with other future service members, saying, "I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic." Fast forward to basic training, and suddenly my comrades and I are being woken up in a frenzy around 4 a.m. with large men in camouflage uniforms yelling at us to run to formation. And my drill sergeant placed himself 2 millimeters from my face, leaned down and yelled, "Why is the sky blue, Private?" And as you can imagine, from my friendly demeanor and almost in tears, the most educated guess I could think of, because of the ocean. And at that moment, I knew that what getting smoked was, and that my answer was obviously wrong. His answer was that God loved the infantry. And for the longest time, I tried to understand why he kept saying that to us every day. And one day, I just happened to come across a quote. "Those who have long enjoyed such privileges as we enjoyed forget in time that men have died to win them." And that's when I understood it was about the ultimate sacrifice from the oath that I took. Nearly 1.2 million men and women who took the same oath have died during wartime in the span of U.S. history. And that number doesn't include the ones who are missing. And to put that in perspective, that's half the current population of the Tampa Bay area. Those who've taken this oath know that we are bound by it, and for some, it's a core belief. The oath takes blood, sweat, dedication, and sometimes our lives. It's more than just words or a contract, but the notion that we would all sacrifice our lives if necessary in defense of the most valuable element in which this country holds, freedom. Sometimes it's easy for those who have never experienced the loss and trauma that death leaves, but that's just part of being human. Roosevelt's quote resonates with me, and it serves as a reminder that Memorial Day gives us an opportunity to remember the origins of our nation's countless freedoms. My hope is that today we take some time to understand what every military family knows, and that's our way of life has been shaped and made possible by those who have served and those that we have lost. The reality of joining the military is knowing that there's a chance that we won't be coming back. And I unfortunately have had the experience of knowing some of those that lost their lives in war. But there are many ways to show honor to those who've fallen or injured and ill veterans. So I urge everyone here to get to know some of the heroes in our community, because I think you'll be amazed at the bravery, courage, and valor behind some of their stories. Working together with friends, family, veterans groups, and other communities will make certain that sacrifices made by our bravest are never taken for granted, that their acts of heroism are never forgotten. Finally, I ask that you support veteran-owned businesses and businesses who show support for our heroes so that we may show our thanks to the few willing to continue to make these sacrifices. Thank you all for today's tribute. Please keep our military men and women and the sacrifices they made close to your heart, not just today, but throughout the rest of the year. Thank you.
Thank you, Chad, for those excellent words to remind our viewers and our citizens what Memorial Day is really all about. If you've ever been in a foxhole with somebody, you know you develop a bond with them, and sometimes people get killed in combat. And I always use this day to remember my friends that were killed during the Gulf War. But there's been many over the years, and I know I say this every year when I talk to you all, but every day should be Memorial Day, because every day that you're free to get in your car and drive to Publix and buy groceries, you're free to do that because someone laid down their life for you when they were in the military, and we took that sacred oath to do so. So think of your loved ones and your family members and everyone that's gone before you to give you what you are doing right now, sitting free in your home and watching this broadcast. And think of them every day. But today especially, we honor them, we honor their sacrifice. And in honor of those folks that have gone before us, we will now go back to our honor guard for 21 gun salute and taps. Thank you for joining us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice